Hey, this is Rick Bubba Taylor, KBPS class of 1978, reminding you that you're listening to the voice of the Portland Public Schools, KBPS Portland.
AM 1450 KBPS presents live PIL basketball. Now with all the action, let's go courtside with the KBPS sportscasting crew.
Hi, everyone, and good evening from Ida B. Wells High School in Southwest Portland. I am Sean Phillipson for AM 1450 KBPS in Portland. Tonight's game features 6A girls basketball as the Ida B. Wells host the Jefferson Democrats. Looking at how these two teams have fared during the regular season, Jefferson Democrats coming in 8-7 overall and 5-2 in the Portland Interscholastic League. Ida B. Wells Guardians are 12-5 overall and 5-3 in the PIL standings. Jefferson currently third in the PIL. Going to be a tight race to determine the positioning of the PIL teams this year in girls basketball. This is a battle tonight of two top 15 ranked teams in the state of Oregon. Jefferson ranked 12th in state, Ida B. Wells 15th in state. If the season ended today, both teams would qualify for a first round home game, as the top 16 ranked teams in state would get at least a first round home game at their venues. Jefferson coming in as a team scoring 51.7 points per game. However, they have allowed 48.8 points per game as a team through 15 games for them. Ida B. Wells has played 17 games overall, which is tied with Cleveland in the girls' standings. Ida B. Wells, though, they average 46 points per game as a team, but their defense has really stepped up big time. They allow their opponents to score only 30.5 points per game. Should be a fun matchup tonight from Southwest Portland. Back at the old gym at Ida B. Wells, the crowd looking on hand. Good turnout tonight for both schools. Let's run down to you the games so far that Jefferson has played. They have won 3 out of the last 5 games, have Jeff. They're coming off their most recent win versus Cleveland on Tuesday, defeating the Warriors 61-51. The last time these two teams met, though, was back on January 11th of this year, and Jefferson won at home against Ida B. Wells, a 2-point win, 41-39. And Ida B. Wells, they are on a 1-game losing streak, but have won 3 out of their last 5. They've had a 3-game winning streak going in up until their most recent loss on Tuesday at Marshall campus at Benson, losing 46-37 in the loss. Let's run down to you now the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Jefferson Democrats, it will be senior Jayasha Jones getting the start, along with 4 freshmen for Jefferson: Layla Nunez, Aubriana Lawrence, Chauncey Anderson, and Charisma Johnson. Those are the starting 5 for the Jefferson Democrats, coached by Andre Lawrence. Assistant coaches Larry Warren Jr. and Yolanda Nash. For the Ida B. Wells Guardian starters, they will start 4 seniors and 1 freshman. It will be Charlotte Richmond, the senior, Daphne Reed, the senior, Eve Hart, also a senior, Eliza DeJulio, and a freshman, Autumn Hart. The Guardians are coached by Anthony Leveritz. Assistant coaches Craig Denise and Juanita Badon. Those are the starting lineups for both teams. We will recap to you those starting 5 lineups after the break. From Ida B. Wells High School, it is the Guardians and the Democrats next on KBPS. Welcome back to Ida B. Wells High School in Southwest Portland. Sean Phillipson on hand with the play-by-play this evening. As you hear in the background, Kirby Gleason filling in for Kevin Flink tonight, doing the public address announcing going over the starting lineups for both Jefferson and Ida B. Wells. We will definitely remind you on those starters right now. First for Jefferson, Jones, Nunez, Lawrence, Anderson, and Johnson for Jefferson. For Ida B. Wells, Richmond, Reed, Eve Hart, DeJulio. The PIL is deep this year. 6 out of the 9 teams, if the season would end tonight, would qualify to make the playoffs. Benson ranked 7th in state, Cleveland 22nd, Jefferson 12th, Ida B. Wells 15th, Grant 29th, and Lincoln 26th in state in girls 6A basketball. Jefferson in the road black uniforms with gold and blue numbering and gold trim on the sides. They will start the game going left to right. Ida B. Wells Guardians in the forest green, or in the home white uniforms with the forest green numbering and green and gray trim. Tip-off 1 for Ida B. Wells, going to start this game right to left. And it comes to Richmond on the right wing. DeJulio passes for Autumn Hart, skips it out. It's Reed, a 2-point field goal, good from the left corner. Daphne Reed opens the scoring for Ida B. Wells, 2-0 to score. 7:38 remaining in the first quarter. Handling it is Lawrence for Jefferson. Bounce pass over to Nunez. Nunez pass nearly stolen away by Ida B. Wells, recovered by Jones. Lawrence dribbling the ball at the moment for Jefferson. Between the rings, passes out to Anderson, who drives, pulls the ball back out, now backing into the post. It's a 12-footer from straight away, bounces twice and misses. Defensive rebound by Charlotte Richmond for the Guardians. Richmond passes left to Hart. Hart holding the ball, passes between the rings to DeJulio. DeJulio on the drive, puts up a 13-footer from straight away and knocks it down. DeJulio, her first field goal, 4-0 lead. Guardians over Jefferson. Lawrence a transition 3 to respond, cannot. Defensive rebound by DeJulio. Richmond advancing up court past the timeline. Guarded by Lawrence as Jefferson in a man-to-man early on. Reed passes right over for DeJulio. DeJulio passes between the rings to Hart. Hart, left wing, Richmond. Richmond holding the ball now, dribbles once, passes between the rings to Hart. Hart nearly got the ball stripped, recovered by the Guardians. Quick ball movement by Ida B. Wells. It's DeJulio on the left wing, now back over to the between the rings area is Reed. Now over for Autumn Hart. Hart passes between the rings to Richmond. 6:15 remaining in the first quarter. DeJulio stripped of the ball, but a foul is called on Charisma Johnson. 2 free throws coming for DeJulio. Charisma Johnson on the foul, her first team foul for either team in the quarter. And DeJulio to the line to shoot 2 for Ida B. Wells, coached by Anthony Leverett. Andre Lawrence, the head coach for Jefferson. He did not like the call being made. The free throw is good by DeJulio with 1 more from the line. And a 5-0 start for Ida B. Wells. Looking to force a tiebreaker tonight. Free throw good by DeJulio. She has 4. And the lead grows up at 6 for Ida B. Wells. It's 6-0. Guardians over the Democrats with 6:10 remaining in the first quarter. Lawrence on the left wing, guarded by Reed. Lawrence hands it off to Johnson. Johnson, a couple dribbles between the rings, continuing to dribble, yo-yoing up and down. Now goes to her left, guarded by Richmond, which is no easy assignment to do. Over for Lawrence between the rings. Lawrence, a straightaway 3, got it to fall. Brianna Lawrence with a big-time 3, ending the scoring drought for Jefferson. 5:40 to go in the first quarter. 6-3 lead. Ida B. Wells lead. Richmond going to her right. Left wing passes between the rings to Reed. Reed to DeJulio into Autumn Hart. And a foul is called on Jefferson. Nunez wanted a travel called. Didn't get the call in her favor. The foul is on Lawrence, her first for Jefferson. 5:31 remaining in the opening quarter. 6-3 lead for Ida B. Wells. And the inbound's over for DeJulio. DeJulio straight away with the ball. Passes over for Richmond. Richmond right wing now comes up straight away. Shoots a 3-pointer. Short. Offensive rebound to DeJulio. Stripped of the ball cleanly by Jefferson, but recovered by Autumn Hart. to keep the possession alive for the Guardians. Richmond on the left wing. Richmond ball poked away from behind by Johnson, and diving on the floor is Anderson, and a foul is called on Ida B. Wells. Terrific hustle play by both teams. Foul is called on Daphne Reed for Ida B. Wells. That is her first. Anderson was holding her left elbow to make sure she's all right, and she will stay in the game. She took a spill on the floor momentarily. Inbounds for Lawrence. 5 minutes to go, first quarter. 6-3 lead. Ida B. Wells lead. And it comes to Jones. Jones, the senior, dribbling, and a whistle sounding. Sorry for the pause there. We thought there was a timeout call for Jefferson, but the inadvertent whistle, miscommunication with the official and the Lawrence, and an over and back on the inbounds play to Charisma Johnson, a costly turnover early in the first. 4:52 remaining in the first quarter. 6-3 lead, Guardians over the Democrats. Inbounds for Reed. Reed, right wing, driving into the paint, kicks it out. Autumn Hart, left corner, puts up a runner from the left elbow, no good. Defensive rebound, Jones. Jones up the floor is Lawrence, and she double dribbled with the basketball. Back-to-back turnovers for Jefferson. 4:41 remaining first quarter. 6-3 lead again. Ida B. Wells the lead over Jefferson. Inbounds for Richmond as she advances into the front court, guarded by Lawrence. Richmond off the pick, going to her right. Richmond still with it. Passes to Eve Hart. Passes left to Autumn Hart on the left baseline. Now between the rings she goes into Richmond. Richmond gets off the screen from Hart. Richmond, thought about the three, got some space, puts up a left-handed runner, no good. Rebound by Anderson for Jefferson. 4:15 remaining first quarter of play. Democrats down 3, 6-3. Anthony Leverett will bring up Mia Fowler at the scorer's table. She'll check in next dead ball for Ida B. Wells. And on the play is Lawrence, and she's stripped, and a foul called on Daphne Reed. That is her second foul. And now Mia Fowler will check into the ball game for Ida B. Wells. Also for Jefferson, Brooklyn Chapman will make her first appearance tonight for Jefferson. 4:04 remaining first quarter. Guardians in the lead by 3 over the Democrats. Lawrence holding the ball, now dribbles once, passes over for Anderson on the right elbow, still with it. Pass over for Lawrence. Lawrence on the right baseline looking for some separation. She did not get the separation. She shoots the three anyway and knocks it down. Aubriana Lawrence with a big-time three. And that ties the game at 6 apiece for Jefferson. Jefferson will get the ball back out of bounds off of the Guardians on that last play, as I was trying to make the point count for Lawrence on my stat sheet. 3:38 remaining, first quarter, tie game at 6. Ball into the hands for Anderson. Anderson to three, an air ball, and the rebound sails out of bounds. It will be Guardians' ball. Ida B. Wells started the game making their first 6 points of the quarter, and Jefferson has rallied with a 6-0 run of their own. 3.5 remaining first quarter, inbounds over for Richmond. Richmond advances past the timeline, circling around. Now between the rings, passes right over to Fowler. Lob it inside to DeGiulio. DeGiulio jump hook shot partially blocked by Nunez. Nunez on the run for Jefferson. Nunez now backing in, driving right, hard to the hole shot, partially affected by DeGiulio. No block shot for DeGiulio, but she did affect the shot. Richmond passes left over for Eve Hart on the left baseline. 3 minutes to go, first quarter, tie game at 6 from Southwest Portland. DeGiulio holding it up, passes for Eve Hart from between the rings. Right wing, DeGiulio on the right baseline, and a hold foul on Jefferson. Both teams have 2 team fouls each, make it 3 now, as Brooklyn Chapman will pick up the personal for Jefferson. That is her first. Guardians to inbound underneath their own basket. Richmond got it in quickly, interception, and stolen by Lawrence. Lawrence over for Chapman, and Chapman turns it over. Richmond the steal. Richmond all the way to the basket, lays it up and in. Richmond with her first field goal, and a timeout for Ida B. Wells. This will be a 30-second timeout 2:37 remaining in the opening quarter. We'll take a quick 30-second break. It's 8-6 lead, Ida Wells over Jefferson on KBPS. 2:37 remaining first quarter. Ida Wells regains the lead by 2, 8-6. Officials talking with one of the assistant coaches and Larry Warren Jr. about the previous possession for Jefferson. 8-6 lead, Jefferson inbound, down by 2. Lawrence dribbling past the timeline now. She has her matchup against Eve Hart defensively. Dribble handoff for Anderson on the right baseline. Between the rings, Nunez. Nunez going to her right. Nunez passes out for Lawrence. A three-pointer right wing, no good. Rebound right over to the hands of Anderson, and she is fouled on the second effort. Free throws coming for Lawrence. And the foul on Mia Fowler, that is her first, team's third of the quarter. And Anderson will head to the line to shoot 2. Anderson at the line. Her first free throw is around and in. Her first point of the game. Substitution will be allowed for Haley Webb, making her first appearance off the bench for Jefferson, as Charisma Johnson will head to the bench for her first rest. 2:18 remaining, a 1-point deficit for Jefferson. Anderson misses the second. A 1-point deficit for Jefferson remains. Jayasha Jones at the table. She'll check in next dead ball for the Democrats. Richmond near midcourt, passes right wing to the Julio, far side. Bullet pass into Richmond. Lost the ball on a steal by Chapman. Chapman on the break. Passes right over for Lawrence. Lawrence with a step back 3 right wing. No good. Rebound, loose ball foul on Lawrence, and that is her second foul of the game. Andre Lawrence will have to make a decision now, and then Charisma Johnson will check back in off the bench following a very quick rest, as Lawrence with 2 fouls will head to the bench. She has 6 points so far. 1:53 remaining first quarter, 8-7 lead, Ida Wells. Richmond advances past the timeline. High pass over for DeJulio. DeJulio over for Eve Hart between the rings, holding the ball, guarded by Nunez. Back to Richmond. Over for Hart between the rings. Hart holding it up. Right wing DeJulio. 1:35 remaining first quarter. Richmond with a right elbow jumper, no good. Defensive rebound by Chapman for Jefferson. Democrats down by 1. They have yet to take a first quarter lead after trailing 6-0 to start the game. Rallied with 6 unanswered points to tie. Handling up on the left wing is Nunez. Nunez gets off a pick, going to her right. Passes out for Johnson. Johnson carried with the ball. Another turnover on the Democrats. Ida Wells ball. Dana Savage will check in off the bench for Ida Wells, as Autumn Hart will head to the bench for her first breather of the game. Stopped play at the moment as Layla Nunez was tying her shoe, and now play resumes. It is Richmond, guarded near midcourt by Lawrence. Inside to DeJulio. Her pass is blocked away by Nunez. I forgot Lawrence is on the bench. In to Charisma Johnson. Johnson now on the right baseline. Right-left crossover, driving into the paint. Lays it up high off the glass. Too strong. Rebound, last touch by Ida Wells with 43.5 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Jefferson the inbound underneath their own basket. It's Charisma Johnson to be the inbounder. Johnson gets it in. 3-pointer for Chapman. No good from the left baseline. Rebound dug down on the floor. Ripped away by Jones. Great effort on the second effort for Jefferson. 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And a pass intercepted and stolen by Richmond. Richmond all the way to the basket. Lays it in on the break. Richmond with 4. Her second field goal. Guardians up by 3. 10-7 with 18 seconds to play in the first quarter. Johnson between the rings, guarded by Richmond. Kicks it out for Chapman, left wing. Right wing, Jones. 7 seconds left for the quarter. Down to 5. Jones puts up a tough shot over to Julio. No good. Rebound, volleyballed up. 1 second left. Put back up. And no good at the buzzer by Charisma Johnson. That concludes the first quarter of play. Ida Wells 10, Jefferson 7. Second quarter coming up next from Southwest Portland on KBPS. Guardians lead by 3, 10-7 as the second quarter begins. It will be Chapman to inbound on the far side and gets it into Charisma Johnson. Johnson has had a couple turnovers in the first quarter, but her team trails by 3, trailing as many as 6 from the start of the game, trailing 6-0. It is Nunez, a straightaway 3, not even close to the rim. Offensive rebound, Chapman keeping the possession alive. Anderson a 3, that's no good, well short. Richmond on the defensive rebound. Anderson back on the floor for Jefferson, and a foul call on Charisma Johnson. That is her second, reaching in from behind on Charlotte Richmond. That's the 15th foul on Jefferson, 3 for Ida B. Wells. Jayasha Jones will check into the game for Johnson, and Aubriana Lawrence with 2 fouls herself will check in off the bench, as Haley Webb will head to the bench for her first rest of the game. Eve Hart gets it in play to Richmond. Just underway, second quarter, 30 seconds gone. Eve Hart, ball moving over to Savage. Over to Richmond between the rings. Now over for Fowler. Fowler into Eve Hart. Eve Hart on the right wing, circling around, lays it up and in. Eve Hart with her first field goal, extending the Guardians' lead 12-7. 7:10 remaining first half, a 5-point lead for Ida B. Wells. Ball into the hands of Lawrence, right wing. Bumped against Richmond. Offensive foul called on Lawrence, and that is her third. Andre Lawrence can't believe it on the bench, has his hands above his head, and Haley Webb will have to be inserted back into the game for Lawrence. Guardians inbound over for Richmond. Richmond guarded by Jones. 1 minute gone, second quarter. Pass over to the left wing in Savage. Between the rings now, she is over to Fowler. And Fowler's pass, stolen by Jones, I believe. No, it was Chapman. But it will remain Guardians' ball up on the far sideline. Eve Hart's inbound. Before that happens, not going to be allowed in is Reed and Autumn Hart. They will have to wait at the table next dead ball. It is Richmond on the left wing. Richmond off the screen from DeJulio. Between the rings, she stops her dribble, passes for Eve Hart. Over for Savage. Savage driving into the paint. Dumps it off to DeJulio with the jump hook is good. DeJulio with 6 for Ida B. Wells, and the lead grows for the Guardians at 7 at 14-7. Jefferson without a field goal in the quarter. Ball over for Nunez between the rings. Left wing is Chapman. Will pull it with a runner with the left hand, not even close. And Chapman tries to get the loose ball. Recover for Ida B. Wells. Richmond advances past the timeline. Over for Hart between the rings. Back to Richmond. Richmond gets off a Hart screen. Going to her left. Pulls it out for DeJulia with 6 points in the half. Fowler making her move. 3 in the key. No, it's a foul on Eve Hart. Excuse me. On the Guardians, that is her first. And now Autumn Hart will check into the game, and Daphne Reed as well. Daphne Reed, the only Guardian player in foul trouble with 2. Lawrence in foul trouble for Jefferson with 3. And Charisma Johnson with 2. Chapman, ball into the hands now for Jones on the right elbow. Whistle sounding, and a traveling violation called on Chapman. Another turnover on Jefferson. 5:41 remaining first half. 14-7 lead Ida B. Wells. Eve Hart looking to get the ball inbounds and does. Over to the backcourt goes Richmond. Richmond lobs it up high for Hart to catch it and does. Over for Reed, right baseline. Reed over for Richmond between the rings. Left baseline, near side Hart. 5:25 remaining in the first half. Ball moving around the perimeter to Julio. Bolts the pass inside to Eve Hart. She is shoved, and a foul called on Jefferson. That one on Jones. Jones shoved her out of the way. Jefferson bench wanted a travel violation called. Nonetheless, Jones picks up the foul. That is her first. And at the line will be Eve Hart. She will be shooting 1-1. We're at the 17th foul on Jefferson. 3 for Ida B. Wells. Eve Hart's first of the 1-and-1 is good. She has 3 with 1 more from the line. And the lead grows once again for IW Wells at 8. It's 15-7. Guardians lead. 5:20 left first half. Guardians, Hart at the line, makes the second. Eve Hart with 4. Lead at 9 now for IW Wells at 16-7. 5:15 remaining first half. Pass over to the right side in Jones. Jefferson needs a basket to end the scoring drought. They are without a field goal in 3 minutes of play. Anderson had her ball poked away by Hart, recovered, and a timeout. Jefferson, they will take a full. We will take it with them to the break. 5 minutes exactly remaining first half. IW Wells 16, Jefferson 7 on KBPS. 5 minutes exactly remaining first half of play. IW Wells leading it 16-7 over the Jefferson Democrats. As both teams coming out of the timeout, stay tuned for our halftime show, our KBPS halftime show at that, where we will preview our upcoming games this week, as well as look around the scores within the PIL, if any. And keep in mind, if you have any scores within the PIL, use the hashtag OPREPS, and we'll mention it on the program tonight. Carmela Nunez making her first appearance of the ball game for Jefferson. She is a freshman as well. I saw her play in JV, made a three-pointer between the rings with no hesitation. She got a soft touch from the perimeter shooting the ball. And she has the ball. There's Nunez on the right wing. Over for Jones between the rings. Jefferson in need of a basket. They've been without a field goal in this quarter. Jones passes left over for Webb. Webb driving. Passes handoff for Chapman. Left-handed runner. Round and out. The drought continues. Offensive rebound no good by Chapman. Defensive rebound by Autumn Hart for the Guardians. 4:15 remaining first half. Guardians by 9. Autumn Hart on the left baseline. Passes for Reed between the rings. Richmond right baseline far end. Now comes up between the rings, guarded by Chapman. Jefferson remaining in the man-to-man defense. Chapman gets off the screen from DeJulio. Chapman thought about the three. Passes top of the arc for Art. Dumps it in the post to DeJulio with a jump hook and good. DeJulio with 8 for IW Wells, and the Guardians lead by 11, 18-7, with 3:45 remaining in the first half. Battle of two top 15 teams in state. Anderson backing in, kicks it out for Jones. Jones on the drive will pull up from 20 foot, not there. Out of bounds, sailing out, IW Wells ball. The perimeter shots have not been there for Jefferson, as IW Wells has been able to close any and all shots from the perimeter tonight thus far. Drill gets the inbounds pass, advancing up court to Richmond on the left corner. Over for Autumn Hart. Now to Eve Hart between the rings, guarded by Nunez, who has the height advantage around most of the players tonight. It's DeJulio on her way to the basket again and lays it in with the left hand. Eliza DeJulio with 10. Lead extends for IW Wells at 20-7. Jefferson without a field goal in 5 minutes. Anderson driving to the paint, lays it up, no good, but a defensive foul called. Late whistle on the Guardians. Johnson slow to get up, but a 2-shot foul on IW Wells. Foul on Charlotte Richmond. That is her first foul of the game, team's 4th of the half. And Anderson will head to the line to shoot 2. 2:59 remaining in the second quarter. Anderson at the line, and she makes it. That's the first point of the quarter for Jefferson. The field goal scoring drought, however, does continue for them. Carmela Nunez will head to the bench. Charisma Johnson back on the floor for Jefferson. The free throw is good by Anderson. She has 3. And the lead trimmed down to 11 at 20-9 with 2:58 remaining first half. Jefferson playing full court press in the backcourt. Eve Hart advancing past the timeline. Ball poked away and stolen by Chapman. Chapman passes left to Anderson. Back to Chapman. A three-pointer. No good from the left wing. Rebound dug down the floor. Picked up by Anderson. Over for Chapman. Guardians bench wanted to travel. Layup is no good by Chapman from the left block. Guardians take up the loose ball and the rebound. Chapman advances past the timeline. Chapman gets off the screen from Eve Hart, passes for the Julio. Lob it inside to Eve Hart and a turnover on Ida B. Wells. A great steal by Jones. Jones pushing it up. Right wing Webb. Webb back to Jones. Dana Savage at the scores table. She'll check in next dead ball. Left wing is Charisma Johnson with 2 minutes left in the first half. Jefferson still without a field goal in the quarter. Johnson gets off a screen and a foul called on Ida B. Wells. Foul on Autumn Hart. That is her first foul. And now Dana Savage will come on the floor for Daphne Reed. Reed has 2 fouls. She's the only Guardian player in foul trouble in the half. Jones to inbound, got it into Anderson. Now to Johnson. Johnson for 3. No good from the right baseline. Rebound by Richmond for the Guardians. 1:43 remaining first half. Richmond passes left over for Hart. Hart holding it up. Now to DeJulio. DeJulio holding it. Richmond, a 3 from straight away. No good. Rebound pulled down by Johnson for Jefferson. 1:25 remaining first half. Jefferson has yet to have a lead tonight, trailing as many as 13. Johnson guarded by Autumn Hart, and Autumn Hart picked up the defensive foul for reaching in. That is her second. Interesting to see if Ida B. Wells will go to the bench. Is Lever, and a substitution will be allowed. Mia Fowler will check in for Autumn Hart to prevent a third foul in the half. 1:16 remaining first half of play. 20-9 lead, Ida B. Wells. Chapman between the rings, going to her right, going to her left, behind the back dribble, will pull up from the foul line. No good, but a foul called on Dana Savage on the shooting release. Savage picks up her first foul of the game. Clock stopped at 1:04 remaining in the half. At the table for Jefferson, it'll be Nunez. She'll check in after the free throw. And the free throw is no good. One more coming up the line. Nunez will head on to the floor for Charisma Johnson. Johnson will head to the bench, and Carmela Nunez will not check in just yet after the second free throw, motioning to the officials. And the second free throw, no good for the Democrats. Chapman 0 for 2 at the line. Guardians ball following the defensive rebound is Chapman. Richmond, Richmond over for Savage on the left baseline. Back to Richmond, right wing to Julio. The Julio bolt pass inside for Eve Hart. Shot missed by Eve Hart. Nunez now got a piece of it at the rim. 42 seconds left in the first half. Jones over for Webb, back to Jones, now to Chapman on the right, on the left baseline, far aside. Chapman hands it off for Anderson. 31 seconds left in the first half. Andre Lawrence, the head coach for Jefferson, motioning out a play for the Democrats. Anderson standing dribble, still with it. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Jefferson might be content to just hold for the final shot in this quarter. Chapman into Jones' right baseline. Jones gets bumped by Savage. Savage playing terrific defense on her. Into Anderson, who drives, puts up a tough shot, and banks it in. Chauncey Anderson with 5. And the lead trimmed down to 9. Full shot missed by Anderson from just inside the mid-court line. And that takes us to halftime with the score Ida B. Wells 20 and the Jefferson Democrats 11. That field goal for Anderson was the first field goal made of the quarter for Jefferson after having a long drought in the second quarter. Stay tuned for our KBPS halftime show next. Score at halftime from Southwest Portland, Ida B. Wells 20, Jefferson 11 on KBPS. Halftime from Southwest Portland, Ida B. Wells with a 9-point lead at 20-11. Jefferson in the second quarter scoring 4 points, and Wells scoring 10 points in the second quarter a 10-4 quarter run for the Guardians. Time now to look at the halftime numbers for both schools. Let's start off with Jefferson. Lawrence with 6 for Jefferson, leading the team in scoring. And Chauncey Anderson with 5 for Jefferson. That's all the scoring for the Democrats. Looking at Ida B. Wells scorers, Eliza DeGiulio with 10 at halftime. She's the only player on either team in double figures. Eve Hart with 4, Charlotte Richmond with 4 as well, and Daphne Reed with 2 points for the Guardians. Ida B. Wells has led as many as 13 in the second quarter. In the first quarter, though, Ida B. Wells led 6-0 to start, and then Jefferson countered with a 6-0 run of their own. And then Ida B. Wells pulling ahead in the first quarter, leading 10-7 at the end of one, and lead by 9 at the end of the second quarter. Foul troubles to be aware of for Jefferson. Aubriana Lawrence with 3 fouls at the half, as Jefferson definitely miss her presence being on the court. Charisma Johnson with 2, Chapman and Jones with 1 foul each. For Ida B. Wells in foul trouble, Daphne Reed and Autumn Hart with 2 fouls each. Eve Hart, Mia Fowler, Charlotte Richmond, and Dana Savage with 1 foul each for Ida B. Wells. Both teams have taken a timeout at the half. KBPS Halftime Show continues. We'll preview this week's games coming up and next week's games, of course. We'll also look at the games being played in the PIL tonight. There are 4 games in the association, including ours tonight, from Ida B. Wells. So stay tuned for that. Halftime Show continues from Ida B. Wells High School. It is Ida B. Wells 20, Jefferson 11. We'll be back on KBPS. Welcome back to Ida B. Wells High School in Southwest Portland. Ida B. Wells leading it over Jefferson 22-11 at the half. As promised, look at the games played tonight within the PIL. McDaniel and Cleveland tipped off at 5:30 tonight. We don't have a score for them just yet. Roosevelt at Lincoln and Franklin at Benson tonight. Those are the other games tonight within the PIL Association of games tonight. No scores to report from any of them, but if you are near those schools, use the hashtag OPreps and we'll definitely mention the score from that particular game on the broadcast tonight. Speaking of broadcast, looking ahead for the rest of this week and next week, tomorrow we will have a 1 p.m. tip-off game from Marshall campus at Benson High School. It is the Benson Techmen hosting Ida B. Wells Guardians for boys basketball. Again, tip-off at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We follow that by a girls' game at Grant High School, our first trip to Grant this year, as it will be the Grant Generals hosting the Benson Texters. Girls basketball Wednesday, February 9th, and then Friday, February 11th, next Friday, we'll be at Cleveland for our first appearance over at Southeast Portland. It will be the Cleveland Warriors hosting the Ida B. Wells Guardians. Boys basketball, 7 p.m. for the opening tip-off for the game. If you want to look at those games that are on the website, go to kbps.am for further details for the upcoming schedule. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have the third quarter action going from Ida B. Wells High School. Guardians lead a score of 20-11 over the Jefferson Democrats. This is live high school 6A girls basketball action on AM 1450 KBPS. Ida B. Wells leading it over Jefferson 20-11 as the halftime warm-up's about to end here for the start of quarter number 3. Minor recap on the leads for both teams. Jefferson is yet to take a lead tonight And Ida Wells has led as many as 13 points in the first half. Anthony Leverett trying to get the Guardians back on the win column. Both teams have won 3 out of their last 5 games coming in to tonight's game. These two teams met earlier in January 11th, and it was Jefferson that won by 2 at home, 41-39. We mentioned it in the open of the broadcast tonight. Ida Wells looking for an exact amount of revenge following their loss at Jefferson last month. Jefferson will have 2 home games coming up for them. Their next game will be Monday, February 7th, as they host Roosevelt. That's for Jefferson. And for Ida Wells, they will be at Franklin on Wednesday night. They follow up with 2. They finish off the regular season with 5 out of their next 6 games at home. That's Ida Wells. Guardians ball to begin quarter number 3, as the athletic director, Mike Nolan, who does a very good job over here, just getting that form up out of harm's way. As the third quarter begins, in to Julio, pass out for Richmond, a 3-pointer right baseline, got it to fall. Charlotte Richmond with 7 for the Guardians, and the lead extends to 12 for the Ida Wells Guardians at 23-11. Jefferson cannot afford to be on a long scoring drought. Lawrence a straightaway 3, air ball. Rebound by DeJulio. Up the floor, Richmond. Richmond passes left side to Hart, and Hart traveled with the basketball. She knew it. Turnover results, Jefferson ball. Inbounds to Jones for Lawrence. Lawrence past the timeline. Lawrence right wing now, guarded by Daphne Reed, as Jefferson begins the quarter going right to left. Left to right for Ida Wells. Into the hands now for Lawrence. Lawrence passes between the rings to Anderson. Now for Jones. Jones, a scoreless game tonight at the half. They would love her to contribute as well in the game. Fallaway jumper, no good from the right corner is Lawrence. Defensive rebound, Richmond. Richmond advances past the timeline. 6:49 remaining in the third quarter. Richmond gets the pass from Hartwell. Pull up with a runner, no good. Left it short. Defensive rebound by Charisma Johnson. 2 Jefferson players fall down in the backcourt, and a foul called on Ida Wells. Anderson was slow to get up, and now she is up. Autumn Hart commits the defensive foul for the Guardians. That is her 3rd. To my left on the near side for the visitors, the Jefferson fans haven't had much to cheer about in the game, as it's been relatively quiet. Jefferson was down 6-0 to start the game and then rallied with a 6 unanswered to tie. Ever since then, Ida Wells has led throughout much of the game. Nunez puts up a runner and gets the roll. Layla Nunez, her first field goal for Jefferson, cuts the deficit to 10 now. It's 23-13. Mia Fowler at the table. She'll check in next dead ball for the Guardians as the Guardians lead. Reed, DeJulio pass out for Richmond. A long 3-pointer right wing. Good! Actually from the left baseline. Richmond now with 10 for the Guardians, and the lead up at 13 again for the Guardians at 26-13. Under 6 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Nunez dribble handoff for Lawrence. Lawrence on her way to the basket, puts up a runner off the glass, no good. Offensive rebound to Jones. Kicks it out. Nunez, a left corner 3, no good. Bounced off the rim twice. Defensive rebound, Richmond. Richmond diving on the floor, and the jump ball is called. Possession arrow to Jefferson's side. 5:41 remaining in the third quarter, as Mia Fowler will check in for Autumn Hart to prevent a 4th foul. Inbounds for Jefferson is Lawrence, and getting it in play to Johnson. Johnson between the ring, standing dribble. She has Nunez motioning now as she's in the foul line. Lawrence driving left, hard to the rack, no good, but she draws the foul. Second team foul now on the Guardians. The foul on Mia Fowler, that is her second. And that's one way for Jefferson to rally back into this game. Stop the clock. Head to the free throw line. Johnson at the line. Misses the first free throw. And Lawrence will head to the bench. Brooklyn Chapman will check in for Jefferson. Second free throw for Johnson is around and in. Johnson her first point. 12-point lead for the Guardians at 26-14. 5:28 remaining third quarter. Full court press for Jefferson. High up in the air for Reed. Double team now on the near side, and the Guardians get away from it. Three-pointer from the left wing, no good by Fowler. Offensive rebound by Reed. Richmond kicks it out to Fowler. Fowler on the drive. Jefferson's bench wanted to travel, didn't get it. Long two-pointer, no good for the Julio from the left wing. Defensive rebound, Nunez. Jefferson not out of it yet. Down by 12, under 5 minutes to go in the third. Johnson setting up the offense for Jefferson. Now between the rings is Johnson. Johnson passes left to Anderson. Anderson gets off a pick. Anderson pulls the ball back out near midcourt. Standing dribble. Gets off a quick pick by Chapman. Anderson traveled with the basketball. Another turnover on the Democrats. Democrats, if we had turnovers as a statistic tonight, they would be near 10 of them in this game, given the amount of calls that have been on the Democrats. Lawrence at the table. She'll check in next dead ball. Ball into the hands for DeJulio, right baseline. Over for Reed, now the Richmond left wing. Now comes it between the rings, back to Reed. Reed passes right over for Hart on the near side. Between the rings, Fowler. Right wing, left wing for DeJulio. DeJulio still with it. Passes right into Hart. Between the rings, Richmond. 4:05 remaining in the third quarter. 26-14, Guardians lead. Richmond receives the pass. Pass for DeJulio. Now for Reed between the rings. Guardians taking their time in their half-court offense. DeJulio. Over for Fowler. Jefferson fans trying to tell the team to D up. And a reach-in foul is called on Charisma Johnson, reaching in from behind on Charlotte Richmond. Johnson has picked up her third foul of the ball game. And now Aubriana Lawrence will check in off the bench for Jefferson. For who? It will be Jayasha Jones heading to the bench, the senior, getting her first rest of the second half. Inbounds for Richmond. Richmond past the timeline. 3:38 remaining in the third. Richmond stopped her dribble into DeJulio. Andre Lawrence not happy with the defensive rotation Jefferson executing right now. Hart into Richmond. 3:25 remaining in the third. Into DeJulio. Lays it up and in off the glass from the right side. And we have a whistle sounding, a timeout for the Guardians. Guardians will call for a full. We will take it with them to the break. 3:19 remaining third quarter. IWL is leading at 28-14 over Jefferson on KBPS.
This is the home of live PIL sports action. AM 1450, KBPS, Portland.
Jefferson ball down by 14. Largest deficit of the ball game. 28-14. It is Nunez a three out of the timeout and buries it from long range. And the timeout called by the Democrats. Already right out of the gate. And Jefferson will take a 30. We will keep it here. Two substitutions will be made for Jefferson. Looks like Haley Webb and Kimora Johnson will both enter the game after the timeout. But what a response for the Democrats out of the timeout. Nunez hits a top of the arc three, which they desperately needed. Jefferson, to my knowledge, has really struggled from the perimeter tonight from all angles. But that big-time three cuts it to 11 now at 28-17. The Guardians lead by 11. 3:06 to play in the third. It is Hart to inbound. Jefferson playing a full court press. Reed gets the ball inbounds, bumped by Chapman. And Chapman pokes the ball loose, and a defensive foul is called on Brooklyn Chapman. Lawrence is not happy with the call. Second foul on Brooklyn Chapman. Lawrence thought it was a steal. Jefferson fans thought it was a steal as well from behind. Inbounds for Richmond. Richmond going to her left, past the timeline, guarded by Kimora Johnson. Into the hands now for Eve Hart. 2:52 remaining in the third. Ball into the hands of Richmond, and Richmond draws another foul on Jefferson. That one should be on Kimora Johnson, and it is. That is her second foul, first foul of the game, excuse me. 3 team fouls now for Jeff, 2 for Ida B. Wells. Richmond inbound, got it in play to DeJulio. DeJulio bumped against Anderson in the post. Kicks it out. Reed dribble drive into the paint, lays it up, around and in. Daphne Reed with 14. Lead extends for Ida B. Wells at 30-17. Andre Lawrence bringing 2 Democrats off to the table. They both check in next dead ball. Chapman off the screen, going to her left, lays it up too strong. Offensive rebound. Anderson lost the ball, and it picked up by Fowler for the Guardians. And it comes to Richmond. Richmond going to her right, past the timeline, into Eve Hart. 2:13 remaining in the third. Reed, DeJulio, right wing, near side. Ball in the hands now for Richmond, receiving the handoff now to Fowler, right wing. Fowler nearly got the ball stripped by Chapman. Ida B. Wells still with the possession. DeJulio on the left baseline, far side, passes for Reed. Reed into the hands now for Hart on the near side. Hart blows by her defender, reverse layup is good. Eve Hart with 6, 32-17 lead, Ida B. Wells. They lead by 15, largest lead of the game. Chapman spinning, puts up a tough shot, no good, but she draws the foul. Foul on Mia Fowler, that is her third foul of the game. Chapman at the line to shoot 2 for Jefferson. Baskets have been hard to come by for the Democrats tonight. Guardians playing terrific defense. The free throw, the first of the 2 is no good for Chapman. And now Charisma Johnson will check in, as well as Aubriana Lawrence. Anderson and Webb both to the bench for the Democrats. Chapman at the line. She has one more from the charity stripe. And Chapman gets the second free throw, her first point of the game. 1:30 remaining third quarter, 32-18 lead. And it comes to Reed advancing up court and laying it in off the glass. Reed with 6, lead up at 34-18, a 16-point lead for Ida B. Wells. Lawrence gets off a pick. Lawrence shoots a straightaway 3, got it to fall. Brianna Lawrence with 9 for Jefferson, trimming the gap down, 34-21. Guardians, 1:03 remaining in the third. Whistle sounding, and a travel violation called on Ida B. Wells. DeJulio. She was hounded by the Jefferson defense. Jayasha Jones returns to the court for Kimora Johnson. Ball inbounds for Lawrence. Under a minute to go in quarter number 3. Lawrence near side now between the rings, behind the back dribble. Will step back for 3. No good. Defensive rebound. Actually, it's an offensive rebound for Jones. Jones snatched it away from her defender. No basket, foul on the floor on the Guardians. The foul on Daphne Reed. That is her third foul of the game. Chauncey Anderson will check in off the bench after a short rest for Brooklyn Chapman, as Chapman will head to the bench. Dana Savage returns to the court for Daphne Reed. Reed and Autumn Hart with 3 fouls each. 44 seconds exactly remaining in the third quarter. Lawrence gets off a pick. Lawrence and the Democrats down by 13. Into the hands now for Nunez. Nunez passes left for Anderson. Anderson on the left wing. Anderson circling around, going into the paint, kicking it out for Jones, and a whistle sound. Another foul on Ida B. Wells. Mia Fowler on the defensive foul for Ida B. Wells. That is her 4th foul of the game. Anthony Leverage, the head coach for Ida B. Wells, not making a change just yet. Jones receives the inbounds pass. 25 seconds left for the third quarter. It is Lawrence. A step back three, no good. Offensive rebound, Jones. Second effort opportunity for Jefferson, and a hold and a foul on Dana Savage as she tried to steal the ball from Lawrence. That is her 2nd foul. Team foul number 6 now on the Guardians. 16.5 seconds left, third quarter. Lawrence now will hold for the final shot opportunity. Lawrence gets off a pick. Thread the needle to Nunez. Loose ball picked up and stolen by Richmond. 5 seconds left. Richmond past the timeline. Richmond tries to thread the needle for DeGiulio, and a turnover on the Guardians with 0.6 seconds remaining. It will be Nunez to inbound. Nunez gets it in to Johnson. She shoots it from behind midcourt and misses everything. That will take us to the end of the third quarter. Ida B. Wells 34, Jefferson 21. Fourth quarter next on KBPS. Fourth quarter about to begin from Southwest Portland. Ida B. Wells leading it over Jefferson 34-21. Ida B. Wells to inbound on the far side. It will be Eve Hart to inbound for the Guardians. And the ball inbounds for Reed easily. Andre Lawrence, the head coach, not happy with Jefferson's defense. Ball recovered by the Guardians. Richmond passes into the left corner to Hart. Eve Hart's pass recovered by the Guardians. Anderson was looking for the steal from behind. Eve Hart with it. Passes left corner for Autumn Hart. Now to Richmond. Richmond. Reed. Passes for Eve Hart inside the foul line. Looking for help. Gives it for Richmond. Jefferson remaining in a man-to-man defense. Autumn Hart with it. Left wing. Passes for Richmond. Bullet pass into Eve Hart. Kick it out for Reed. A three-pointer. In and out. Defensive rebound. Anderson for Jefferson. Democrats have trailed as many as 16 points tonight. They would love to get the season series sweep against Ida B. Wells, but they have to come back and rally hard tonight. Lawrence with 3 fouls with the ball. Gets off the screen from Nunez. Lawrence turns it over. Steal by Hart in the paint. In it comes to Richmond. Advances past the timeline. Richmond guarded by Lawrence. Pass in the paint to Hart. Back to Richmond with 6:45 remaining in the game. Reed into the hands from Hart. Backing into the post. Kicks it out for Reed. Reed back to Richmond near midcourt. Over for Hart. Hart into DeGiulio. And DeGiulio turns it over. A steal by Johnson. Johnson all the way to the basket. Lays it in. Charisma Johnson. Her first field goal for the Democrats. That cuts it to an 11-point game. 34-23. 6:19 remaining in regulation. Richmond holding it up. Passes for Hart on the left wing. Hart nearly had her pass stolen by Johnson. Johnson diving on the floor. Out of bounds. Jefferson ball. Terrific hustle defensively by Johnson to bat that ball loose off of Reed. And now Brooklyn Chapman will re-enter the game for Jefferson. Anderson will head to the bench. Nunez to inbound and gets it into Lawrence. Lawrence and the Democrats down by 11. 2 minutes gone, fourth quarter. Lawrence on the way to the basket, lays it up, no good. Foul on the floor, but it'll be 1-1 for the Jefferson Democrats. That foul on Daphne Reed, that is her 4th foul of the game. Dana Savage will into the game for Reed. Aubriana Lawrence at the line to shoot 1-1. We're in the bonus 17 foul on Ida B. Wells. Lawrence with 9 points tonight for Jefferson. Andre Lawrence bringing Haley Webb into the game. The free throw is good by Lawrence. She has 10. And now Webb will come in off the bench for Charisma Johnson. Johnson playing with 3 fouls in the game. Lawrence at the line for her second free throw. It's good. She has 11. Lead trim down to 9. Timeout Democrats. Democrats will call for time. They will take a full timeout. We will take it with them to the break with 5:58 to play in the game. Ida Wells lead by 9, 34-25 on KBPS. Guardians to inbound. Looking to get it in. Hart got it in play to Autumn Hart. Autumn Hart back to Eve Hart. Jefferson playing a full court press in the backcourt. Guardians advance it past into the front court. Savage, her pass stolen away by Webb. Webb passes right into Lawrence. A three-pointer short. Defensive rebound by Eve Hart. That would have cut the gap to 6. Richmond advances past the timeline over for Eve Hart. Eve Hart into DeJulio at the foul line. Savage, right wing, pass tip recovered by Richmond. Richmond off the pick, goes to Savage. Into Eve Hart on the right elbow. Over for DeJulio. Her shot is long from the right corner. Defensive rebound, Jones. Advancing up court is Lawrence now. Past the timeline, guarded by Richmond. 5:10 remaining in the game. Charisma Johnson at the scorer's table. She'll check in next dead ball. Lawrence off the pick. All the way to the basket. Good, and she's fouled. What a field goal for Lawrence and a free throw to come her way. Liza DeJulio on the foul. That is her first. Lawrence at the line, shooting 1. 18 foul on Ida B. Wells, 3 for Jefferson. Lawrence with 13 points tonight for Jefferson. 7-point deficit. Make it 6 as she rattles in the free throw. 3-point play for Lawrence. She has 14 points tonight. It's 34-28. Ida B. Wells leads. Savage gets away from her defender. Ball batted up in the air and a steal by Johnson. Johnson all the way to the rack. Shot blocked away by Eve Hart. On the fast break, terrific one-on-one defense. Jefferson ball out of bounds underneath their own basket. Lawrence to inbound the ball. Lawrence looking to get it in and does. Over for Jones. Under 5 minutes to go and a foul called on Charlotte Richmond. Richmond not happy with the call. Now hang on here. The officials are coming together here to see if a foul did occur or not. Lawrence slipped and hurt her elbow, and she is up and okay. The officials are taking their time discussing the play here. No official word yet if a foul was committed or the ball will be out of bounds for the Guardians. The official call is an inadvertent whistle. So there is no foul call. The officials say jump ball due to the inadvertent whistle. I don't know if you guys heard that through the spare microphone, the crowd mic, but nonetheless, Jefferson will have a second chance to get the possession. Andre Lawrence not happy that there wasn't a foul called, but Jefferson does have the possession anyway. Jones slashing away to the basket. Shot blocked away by DeJulio. Jones got it back. Into the hands for Chapman. Into Nunez. A straightaway three. No good. Defensive rebound to DeJulio. 4:40 remaining in the game. 34-28 lead. Richmond double team near midcourt, and a blocking foul is called on Jefferson. Lawrence not happy with the call. That is on Charisma Johnson, her 4th foul of the game. And the 15th foul on Jefferson. Larry Warren Jr., the assistant coach for Jefferson, trying to get the crowd into it with their energy defensively. Inbounds for DeJulio. Hart finding Autumn Hart. Autumn Hart was wide open on the corner. Ball batted up in the air and a steal by Lawrence. 1-on-1 against Richmond. Lawrence to the basket. Lays it in. Aubriana Lawrence with 16. Lead trimmed down to 4. 34-30 lead. Guardians. Jefferson a trails many 16. Ball poked and stolen again by Johnson. And the Guardians steal the ball back by Eve Hart. Richmond advances past the timeline now. Throws it into DeJulio, who lays it in. DeGiulio on the field goal. She has 14. Timeout, Ida B. Wells with 3:59 remaining in the game. 36-30 lead. Guardians, we're waiting the call on if it's a full or a 30. They will take a full. We will take it with them to the break as Daphne Reed will check in after the timeout. 3:59 left in regulation. Ida B. Wells 36, Jefferson 30 on KBPS. Jefferson at the moment are on a 9-2 quarter run over Ida B. Wells with 3:59 remaining in the fourth quarter. Ida B. Wells 36, Jefferson 30. As a reminder, Jefferson has trailed as many as 16 points tonight. And they are fighting hard with their grit and tenacious defense against these Guardians. Jefferson has not led tonight. They would love to cut this gap even closer as Jefferson will have possession out of the timeout. Foul trouble at the moment. Reed and Fowler for the Guardians have 4. Autumn Hart with 3. For the Democrats, it is Charisma Johnson with 4. Lawrence handling the ball at the moment with 3. Lawrence on the far side. Lost the ball. Stolen by Hart. Out of bounds, though. Jefferson maintains possession. Chauncey Anderson will check into the game for Brooklyn Chapman. Nunez to inbound on the far side and gets it into Lawrence. 3:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. Lawrence going to her left, guarded by Autumn Hart. Tough shot, blocked, but a foul called. Autumn Hart on the foul. That is her 4th foul of the game. So Fowler, Reed, and Hart all have 4 fouls. Anthony Leverage not happy about the call. He thought Autumn Hart stood straight up with both hands up in the air. Officials made the decision to make the call of defensive foul. Lawrence at the line to shoot 2. The free throw is good. She has 17 points with 1 more from the charity stripe. It's a 5-point game at the moment, 36-31, 3:36 to play in regulation. Lawrence at the line. Her second free throw is no good. Rebound tapped by Nunez, out of bounds. Jefferson ball. Jefferson keeps possession underneath their own basket. Lawrence to inbound. Lawrence looking to get it in and does. Over for Johnson. Back to Lawrence. Guarded by Hart. Man-to-man defense for the Guardians. 3-pointer for Lawrence is short. Rebound on the floor. Picked up by the Democrats. Great second effort by Charisma Johnson. Lawrence now handing it off to Charisma Johnson. 3:15 remaining in the fourth. Johnson tries to go by Richmond. Cannot. Into Lawrence. Lawrence driving into the paint, kicks it out. Anderson, a big-time 3 is short. Another offensive rebound to Lawrence. Lawrence kicks it out for Johnson. Johnson driving, tripped to the ball by Reed, playing with 4 fouls as well. It will remain Democrats' ball out of bounds. 3:02 remaining in the fourth. Inbounds for Lawrence, a 3, left corner short. Defensive rebound pulled down by Richmond. Richmond advancing up court. On the far side, double team shows she lost the ball on the ground, picked up by DeGiulio. Into the hands for Hart. Now to Reed. Back to Eve Hart on the right baseline. Right corner, down to the post rather, is DeGiulio. Ball poked away and stolen by the Democrats. Jones on the steal. Got her defender away from the basket, no good. Rebound on the floor. It is a foul, a loose ball foul on Jefferson. That one on Anderson. That is her first with 2:34 to play in the fourth. Guardians led as many as 16. They lead by 5, 36-31. Democrats crowd trying to get on their feet and root their team on. Ball batted up in the air and a steal by Johnson. Into Nunez with a short jumper. That's no good. Defensive rebound by Richmond. Up the floor, Hart. And a pass tip, and it will go out of bounds. Democrats ball. Guardians had a 3-on-0 on the fast break. They look to go to DeGiulio, and that pass was out of reach. Democrats with another shot to cut into the deficit here. Down by 5, 36-31. Lawrence up on the right wing. Lawrence passes high over for Johnson, made the catch. Johnson off the pick, kicks it out. Anderson on her way to the basket, goes up with the jump hook, around and in. Chauncey Anderson with 7. It's a 3-point game for the Guardians at 36-33. Whistle sounding, defensive foul on Jefferson. Charisma Johnson on the foul. That is her 5th foul of the game. She has fouled out with 3 points tonight. So Andre Lawrence has to go to the bench because Charisma Johnson has 5 personal fouls. She has to come out. So Lawrence will have to make a decision. Nobody has came off the bench yet. Johnson frustrated as she dove on the floor. And now we will see Brooklyn Chapman check in. Chapman has 2 fouls. Aubriana Lawrence with 3 fouls. She's the only other Democrat in foul trouble at the moment. Guardians to inbound. Hart gets it into Richmond. 1:53 remaining in the game. Double shows on Richmond. Lost the ball to steal by Lawrence. Lawrence handling it now, and a foul called on Charlotte Richmond. That is her second, 10th team foul on the Guardians. 2 free throws the rest of the 4th quarter for the Democrats. Lawrence will head to the line to shoot 2, but before that happens, timeout. Democrats, they will take a full. We will take it with them to the break. 1:46 to play in the 4th quarter. Guardians 36, Democrats 33 on KBPS. Guardians have led as many as 16 points this evening. The lead has been trimmed down to 3. 36-33 with 1:46 to go in the 4th quarter. Lawrence at the line to shoot 2 as she was fouled before we went to break. And that foul on Charlotte Richmond, her 2nd. Lawrence at the line. Got the roll on the first free throw. 18 now for Lawrence. She has 1 more at the line. It's a 2-point game, 36-34. Lawrence at the line. Makes the 2nd. It's a 1-point game, folks. 36-35 lead. Jefferson double team in the backcourt on Richmond. She gets bumped. Richmond advances past the timeline, and a foul called on Jayasha Jones. That is team foul number 7 on Jefferson. Jones with her 2nd, and Richmond at the line to shoot 1 and 1. Richmond with 10 points tonight for the Guardians. The free throw is good. 1 more from the line. Richmond with 11 points tonight. 1:40 to go. Lead up at 2 for the Guardians. 37-35. Make it 38-35 on the free throw. Jefferson with 1 30-second timeout left. Guardians with a full and a 30-second timeout in their back pocket. 90 seconds to go in regulation. Lawrence off the screen. Goes for 3 in the tie. No good. Rebound pulled down by Hart. Hart lost the ball, stolen by the Democrats on the floor, picked up by Jones. Into Nunez, a 3 for the tie, no good. Defensive rebound, Reed. Nunez may have rushed that shot. Up the floor is DeGiulio, lays it up and in. DeGiulio with 16 and a 5-point lead for the Guardians at 40-35. 1:05 to go in the game. Lawrence a 3 to counter, no good. Richmond on the defensive rebound. Into the hands for Hart. Up the floor to DeGiulio all alone. Lays it in. Nobody helped out twice. DeGiulio back-to-back baskets. Lead up at 7. Whistle sounding. Lawrence arguing with the official that Lawrence is hurt. Larry Warren Jr. has to restrain Andre Lawrence right now, because Lawrence is getting close to picking up a technical foul. 47.5 remaining in the game. Lawrence was shaken up on the last play. Couldn't tell what happened. Everything in real time. Everything went by so fast. Guardians are huddling up. And Jefferson down by 7. 4 quick points just like that. Was trimmed to 3 and now lead up at 7 for IW Wells at 42-35. Andre Lawrence again trying to make his case to the official. But Lawrence has to come out of the court. Lawrence is getting really close to picking up a technical foul here. And now Chauncey Anderson has to shove Lawrence out of the way. We have a huge delay on the court with what happened here. And now Lawrence has calmed down on the bench. 47.5 to go. Jefferson in need of a 3. Lawrence gets her defender away, shoots a straightaway 3. That's no good. Rebound, Jefferson. Great save by Chapman. And Lawrence lost the ball, got it back over for Anderson. 35 seconds to go in the game. Anderson banks in a tough 15-footer from straight away. And Lawrence has to run out on the court to call a 30-second timeout, which is their last of the game. 30.7 to go. The score is 42-37. IW Wells. My goodness, what a game we got here for you folks. A lot of a built-up emotion for Andre Lawrence, the head coach for Jefferson. I thought for sure he was going to pick up a technical foul based on his reaction that Abigail Lawrence was on the floor and there wasn't a foul called on her. But the officials held their ground. 30.7 remaining, a game reset. Jefferson are out of timeouts now. They call for 30. Jefferson has had to rally back. They were down by 16 in this game. Trimmed it to 1. Jefferson has not led tonight. Jefferson needs some defensive stops right now as they have 17 fouls. Ball inbounds. DeJulio, and a pass out of bounds off of Lawrence. 29.3 remaining in the game. Eve Hart to inbound, and timeout called for the Guardians. And Guardians will call for a 30-second timeout here. Guardians with just a full timeout left in this game. A reminder, tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m., we will be at Benson for boys basketball action. The Benson Techmen hosting IW Wells. 1 p.m. Wednesday, February 9th, we'll be at Grant. It'll be the Benson Texters visiting the Grant Generals. And then Cleveland Warriors hosting IW Wells next Friday at 7 p.m. Charisma Johnson fouled out with 1:53 remaining in the fourth. Lawrence with 3 fouls. Chapman and Jones with 2 for Jefferson. Eve Hart, inbound pass up the floor is Richmond, and a block shot by Lawrence, but she picks up a foul from behind. As the pass was going to Richmond, Lawrence wasn't aware of it, and a 2-shot foul for Charlotte Richmond.
Charlotte Richmond at the line.
8th team foul on Jefferson. Richmond at the line to shoot 2. A reminder, Jefferson are out of timeout. Richmond makes the first free throw. Anthony Leverett motioning to 4 of his Guardians players to head back defensively. Richmond gets the second one to drop. She has 14. Lead up at 7, 44-37. 25 seconds remaining in the game. Lawrence behind the back dribble between the rings. Will spin, will pull it from the foul line. No good. Defensive rebound, Eve Hart, but ripped away almost by Lawrence. DeJulio shoves down Lawrence. And a foul call on Jefferson. Layla Nunez on the foul, her first. Team foul number 9. Jefferson running out of time tonight. As it'll be DeJulio to shoot 2. DeJulio with 18 points tonight, leading the way for the Guardians. DeJulio on the 1-and-1. The free throw is good. One more from the line. And again, Anthony Leverett, the head coach for the Guardians, motioning for his players to go back defensively.